Good morning, everyone. I'm Tech Sergeant Nichols here with Staff Sergeant Gallo, and we are from the 418th Flight Test Squadron at Edwards. And we're basically just going to be giving you guys a brief overview of what we do at Edwards, what our mission is, and if anyone's interested, I know right now we're looking for a Staff Sergeant. So if you are a C-17 IL airdropper, hopefully you'll get something out of this, and if you have any questions, just let us know. Slide. So this is the overview. Like I said, we're just going to be talking about what we do at the 418th. I know we're scheduled for like 50 minutes, but it's probably going to take like 15 to 20. But we have some videos, so hopefully I'll stretch it out. Slide. So the 418th, it falls under the Global Reach CTF. And the mission is to accomplish AR certification and developmental test and evaluation of air mobility and parachute systems. I'll let you guys read the rest of it. But basically, anytime anything needs to be tested, whether it's parachutes or just modifications to the aircraft, we'll test that out at Edwards. The flight test engineers will gather the data, write a test report, and send that to the higher ups, and then they'll ultimately make a decision whether or not they want to implement whatever it is that we're testing. Slide. So the structure of the CTF, I won't go too much in depth on it, but the main takeaway is that it's a very diverse environment. On the last slide, I talked about AR certification. So we've got KC-46, 135, C-17. So you're going to be working with people from all different backgrounds, boom operators, loadmasters, pilots from various airframes, flight test engineers, civilian engineers. So yeah, it's an interesting environment. Slide. Slide, please. So airlift programs. So I put a picture of those. Those are ballast pallets. They're basically 10,000-pound blocks of concrete. A lot of fun. But for airlift, that's kind of, as loadmasters, our main thing that we do to accommodate whatever CG the engineers want. Sometimes they'll want a forward CG or an aft CG, or they'll just want to be heavy. So we'll load those ballast pallets wherever they need them. Slide. All right, so some of the things that we have recently tested or are currently testing, replacement HUD. It has a wider field of view and increased functionality. As far as I know, this one, they kind of found some bugs with it, so they sent it back and they're still working on it, but it's kind of a work in progress right now. The big one right now is FY15 flight control AR upgrade. So it's a major overhaul of the flight controls to improve AR handling qualities and landing accuracy. The FY15, that we usually have a couple lines a week for this. It's kind of our busy one right now. But like I said, for us in the back, our main job for stuff like this is just like the ballast and just doing our normal checklist. Slide. So the finlets and microvanes. This one, I don't know that they plan on implementing anytime soon. I think they just kind of wanted to see what would happen. So they're designed to reduce drag on the aft body of the aircraft, and they did observe 1.4% in fuel savings. Another big one is the C-17 KC-46 AR certification. So the certification was completed June of 2018. Prior to that point, we were coming up here to do testing out at Bowling Field with the 46, but once we completed that, we got our own 46 at Edwards back in January. So we still do some testing with it, but just not the initial stuff. It's just mostly follow-on testing. All right, so now the interesting part of the brief.
Hi, like he said, I'm Staff Sergeant Ashley Gallo. I've been at Edwards for about a year now. I was prior to Charleston for about 5 years, and now we got some Charleston people out here. As much as we love airland locals as loadmasters, I think the cooler part of the job is airdrop. So we got some cool videos to show you guys. One thing I didn't really know about being a loadmaster is we actually get the opportunity to work with NASA and do some of their dropping and test out their parachutes. So we got some cool things to show you guys there. If you could just slide. So this was a big test for us. We tested out the capsule parachute assembly system. Basically, it holds 4 astronauts to go to space. And we were doing high altitude drops from 35,000 feet. And we were testing out the parachutes for the recovery for people coming back from the moon. I know we just had the 50th year anniversary of the Apollo 11. If you turned on your TV last weekend, you probably saw a little bit about that. Our next scheduled launch to the moon is around 2021. I know there's been talks about an unmanned launch for next year. But this main thing is just we were testing the parachutes out for this. It's a pretty cool drop. If you want to slide, we got the short clip on the next one. You'll see multiple camera. Oh, just kidding. The next one. This is you'll just see it. The deployment package for this space capsule is to the left of it, and it's all carried on one platform. So when you see on the next video, the platform will separate from the space capsule, and it'll have its own deployment. So go ahead.
Road. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. Green light, green light, green light. Here, Cynthia.
Still got it.
And if you're a C-17 load, you know that's way out of limitations, so we get waivers for stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. It actually has multiple phases of deployment for the chutes, so you'll see that a little bit more on different videos here. This was actually a 10-year program that we just finished last year, so it took 10 years for all this testing to get done and completed and actually sent back to NASA with all the data. So slide. So this is our CPAS. The reason they designed it this way was just to achieve higher dynamic pressure test conditions. So the engineers just wanted it built this way just so they can collect the data like they wanted. This was mostly, we were just testing the parachutes on the back of the missile here. You'll see in the video. If you want to just slide for the next one. This will go slow and fast, so you'll see that they'll speed it up so you don't have to watch the whole 35K drop. Those are actually drogue parachutes, and then those are the deployment parachutes. Cool thing about these parachutes is they just keep expanding as they go down, so they'll just start catching air, and the more air they catch, they'll expand further. kind of drops we do at Yuma, so you'll see a whole lot of nothing on the ground. That's why. Alright, some of you might have heard about this already, but I think it's one of the coolest things we're doing right now. We're still testing it out. We have one coming up next year that I actually heard we're going to have an AMC jet join us for this, for a 3-ship. So be on the lookout for that if you're AMC. This is our Missile Defense Agency test. Basically, the idea behind this is we're dropping a missile out of the back of a C-17. It takes off, and we're testing out the interception capabilities from the coast. Make sure those are working properly. We're going to do a 3-ship next year, so we can do multiple at one time. Make sure if we have multiple missiles coming at us that it's going to intercept. And then you can roll to the next video. We're going to watch a couple clips of this.
Drogue okay. Good position. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green light. Road's clear. Drogue deployed.
You can see the chase plane right there too. Every phase of the drops are filmed by chase planes for us. We always have cameras on us to see what's going on.
4, 3, 2, 1. Green light.
The next video actually is going to show us how the missile is intercepted. The next one's kind of dark, so if we need to, we'll turn the lights off. So here you saw the drogue go away. You'll see it drop here. It'll separate, and then it'll take off here pretty quick. Ignites, takes off. And this is from Alaska. You'll see they'll launch the interceptors. We really like to get every camera angle there is. and you can guess what happened there with the big fireball. Yeah, so far this test has been successful for us. I just think it's a really cool test set for Loadmasters that we're doing, way cooler than Airland locals. You could slide. Another thing we do for airdrop is our test parachute program. We do a lot with these dummies here. They get pretty beat up. We just put whatever on them and test it out. If we need live humans, there's actually a job for that. People are crazy enough to do it. It's the SEER guys at Edwards. They're actually pretty cool. They'll come out, test whatever you want. And they actually have a program now where we can tandem with the SEER guys, so you can sign up for that. Yeah. One of the programs we just did tested the B2 ejection seat upgrade. We actually increased the airspeed for these drops to 245 knots. We were throwing the dummies off the back of the ramp, attaching the static lines to just the rings and just throwing them out. The dummies went all the way up to 300 pounds just to simulate an actual human with gear on and stuff like that. Slide. And then all that testing goes into new aircrew equipment for our pilots and other types of aircrew. So that's a little bit of our personnel. A lot of our personnel is logged with the dummies, so that's how we keep up on currency. And slide. So we talked a little bit about our mission, our airlift programs, our awesome airdrop programs, and parachute programs. If you want to slide, if we got any questions, we'll take them. Yes.
Hey, Ashley, Ryan, thanks for coming. I work a little bit in talent management. What are you guys looking for? You guys said you're hiring a staff sergeant, obviously IL airdropper, but beyond that, what's the culture fit for you guys? What's the talent you're looking for?
I think that those are the main requirements. I think also, like your last 3 Form 8s have to be Q1. Yeah, obviously we want someone who knows what they're doing.
A little airdrop experience never hurts. Just airdrop, instructor. If you have experience, the better. Once you get out there, you'll have to be JAI certified. We JAI all of our own airdrops. We have an airdrop barn that's actually really awesome, full of civilians over there. Whatever we want to airdrop, we just let them know. They'll rig it up. Get a lot of training through those guys. They really know what they're doing. But yeah, just anyone that's motivated, airdrop instructor. You'll just have to go through JAI school before you come or after you get there. So let us know if you're interested. Any more questions? Yes?
Have you been in any movies?
I haven't. I know they filmed Captain Marvel like a year or 2 back on Edwards, or a lot of it, but
Yeah, a lot of movies do get filmed at Edwards. We personally haven't been in any yet. We've both only kind of been at Edwards a little over a year, but...
You guys are too tall.
Oh, maybe.
Too tall to be in the movie.
That's true. Tom Cruise is pretty short, I think. Yeah, they do a lot of movies at Edwards, though, so you'll see it going on. Any more questions? All right, well, thanks for having us out, guys.
thank you.